I think it's time we blow this scene. Get everybody in their dice together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, roll on.
Hi, I'm Mike, and I'll be the Game Master, or Big Shot, for this session of the Cowboy Bebop role-playing game that we're calling Cowboy Bebob. Join a group of down-on-their-luck bounty hunters as they try to apprehend their quarry and carry that weight.
Hi, I'm Schubert. I'll be playing Rockbot, the repurposed Scatbot.
Hi, I'm Christina, and I'm going to play Bond, the Blue-Nosed Pitbull Ace Space Pilot.
This is Josh, and I'm playing Cactus Jack, the 6-shooter toting space cowboy.
Welcome back to Tales of Bob and our second episode of the Cowboy Bebop role-playing game. You can join the House of Bob Patreon and support us at patreon.com/thehouseofbob. Last time, Cactus Jack and Rockbot pursued a pair of human traffickers to Earth and were joined by a cybernetically enhanced dog named Bon. They ran the bounty to ground, only to find that they were rescuing an infant that had been subjected to experiments in a lab at Callisto. The bounty hunters decided to let them go in exchange for a small sum. Now the cowboys are in Earth orbit, having already exhausted the funds to buy some supplies and fix up their mono-racers, as well as the damage Bond did to their ship, the Dancing Queen, when he crashed into the garage. Now last time, I went pretty easy on the bounty hunters, both because it was our first session and because I don't really know the rules all that well. This time I'm going to be more aggressive about using my resources to create challenges. But first, we have to do risk and rhythm. I get to stash 1 point of risk for each of us, so that's 4 points. Everyone needs to roll 1d6 for starting rhythm.
4.
I got another 6. 2 6s in a row.
I got a 1.
Oh.
1. Some good news and some bad news. Schubert, you get to choose the session genre because you rolled a 6.
Oh, interesting.
Now, if I can make a suggestion, I think rock would fit well with the tiny little bit that I have planned, but you can do whatever you want. If you want to choose something else, go for it, and we'll make it work.
All right. Well, last time we had jazz, and
Right.
I am a rock bot, so I think, I think going with rock sounds like an idea that rocks.
All right. And of course, the bad news, Christina, is 1 is not a lot of rhythm.
No.
But I have good news to go with that. You could give me some risk and take some rhythm in exchange.
Yeah, that's probably what I'm going to do.
Okay.
My rhythm doesn't reset from last time, though, right?
It does reset.
Oh, okay.
We're starting afresh. So if you want to give me some risk, I'll give you a rhythm for every risk you give me.
So I have 1 now still.
You have 1. If you say, hey, Big Shot, you can have 2.
You can have 2.
I have 2 risk. Great. And that means you now have 3 rhythm.
Okay.
That means I now have a total of 6 risk.
Sorry, guys.
Don't be sorry.
Now, Josh, how much rhythm did you start with again?
4.
And Christina has 3, and Schubert has 6.
Oh, yeah.
So many.
Now, last time, you had a successful session. And that means another bit of good news. You each get to gain a trait.
Oh.
Or you can change the approach of an existing trait. You could move it from rock to blues or whatever.
Oh, that's cool.
You could choose a trait based on the events of the last episode.
Interesting.
So, for example, you could, I guess for Rockbot or for Cactus Jack, it could have something to do with having a dog friend on the ship.
Right.
Like, you...
Walkies.
Yeah, you friend to animals, or animal empathy, or something like that. Animal whisperer, dog whisperer, right?
Yeah. Last time I established that Rockbot was trying to give out treats to Bon, so maybe I've just become kind of a sort of treat vending machine to Bon.
Okay.
And I'm handing out treats, and in return, maybe I'm getting like a kind of like a bodyguard of sorts.
Okay.
I'm teaching you my tricks.
Right.
In order for traits. I
So
can do this.
What kind of trait is that, do you think? What approach do you think that goes with?
Well, I'd like to have a rock trait because I don't have any, even though I'm a rock bot. But I don't. So I was thinking.
Well, you don't have to choose that trait. You could say something like you've had some repairs. Maybe Cactus Jack has taken some time to work on you, and now your frame has been toughened or something.
Mm-hmm. True.
You could do that. That would be a rock trait, a tough frame or a reinforced frame.
Yeah. Is rock...
You want me to remind everyone of what the approaches are?
Well,
Do it.
I think I can remember, but sure, go ahead.
I'm not sure I remember, so maybe let me remind everyone here. So withstanding something overwhelming is a rock approach. Being the unstoppable force, so a dramatic, exuberant action, displays of stamina and recklessness, that's a dance approach. Spirituality, self-awareness, understanding other people's emotions, insight, empathy, that's a blues approach. Influencing other people, persuading, deceiving, that's tango. And then understanding the environment, blending in, being smart, using expertise, applying a skill, that's a jazz approach.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think would be a good rock trait for Rockbot?
Doing something that keeps you staying cool under pressure or able to withstand an overwhelming force.
Right. He's pretty able to stay cool under pressure, being a robot. It's not going to panic.
Maybe you literally have water cooling that was just turned on.
Okay.
I don't know. Cactus Jack figured out that your AIO water cooling system had been disabled, and now you literally stay cooler under pressure. Your processor stays nice and cool. Or
yeah, I like that.
Again, reinforced frame. Maybe you just have more experience talking to people, and so you just have practice with people. You stay calm as a result.
Yeah, I think, and that could also be represented by having a cooler processor. So I like that idea. What do you think Cactus Jack would hook him up with? Like some new, like a water cooling system, or like some new fans, or what kind of thing
You
would
said
be?
your wires were crossed,
Yes.
so maybe we've uncrossed those wires.
Well, I think that's going to take more than the way his wires are crossed. I feel like it's
Yeah.
going to take...
Your wires are really crossed.
His
Yeah.
wires are crossed in the way that a backstory crosses them, and it's therefore difficult to undo with one trait.
Yeah. You can't just solve that in one episode, Josh.
You can't just bust him open and uncross those wires.
Of course, you're right. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. It was much more complicated under the hood than Cactus Jack was
Yeah.
expecting.
He was like, this will require at least 10 episodes.
What about Bond?
Yeah.
So, did we decide then? Is it did Cactus Jack upgrade his cooling system?
Yeah.
You could just say that, upgraded cooling.
I think it would be cool if you had a water tank on you, and if like bad stuff was happening, there's no water in it, and you're like just like glowing red hot or something. I don't know.
Sweet. Okay, I'm just going to put water cooled, and we'll see how that
Okay.
comes into play later.
What about Bond? What do you think Bond would add?
I'm not sure. It's a good question.
Something that allows them through practice to communicate a bit better with you. That is, maybe they know your body language. Maybe you've taught them when you don't have your buttons at hand how to read your body language. I can tell when my dog wants to go out.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I don't know what we'd call that.
I mean, I already have things like soulful eyes,
Right.
so I don't know if that's
What kind of approach are
different.
you looking for?
Right. You could have a new cybernetic implant, since that's kind of your thing is cybernetic stuff. You could have like a new voice box that allows you to talk to us differently.
No. Maybe. Voice box seems like something that should come later, though. That's too new. I mean, something maybe under Tango or Rock would be good, because I don't have anything there either. We're really low on Rock in this group.
Well, maybe they use some components to upgrade your spacesuit. Right, you had a suit on.
Oh yeah, that's not a bad idea.
But it wasn't. Maybe it was just a very minimal suit. Maybe it had no kind of armor protection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, upgraded suit. That sounds good.
You have a trait about how you're, You've got like an intimidating glare, right?
Yes. I have an intimidating presence.
Right. Okay.
And what about Cactus Jack?
Does it have to be related to the previous episode? Can I just make it up? So yeah, I don't have a dance one, so I'm kind of trying to arbitrarily make one up. And I am leaning towards something to do with his gun still. And I want to say something like, it's a fans. So in a revolver, you just kind of hit the handle a bunch of times and it shoots fast.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm leaning towards at the moment.
Didn't you say something about it being one of the cylinders was like filled in last time?
I did.
You can make a trait about that.
I put that in my tango already. Well,
okay.
I don't know how I'd make that a dance one.
Trait. Yeah, I mean, you could have fan the hammer.
All right, I'll do that. Fan the hammer.
Or a quick eye or something like that. You just quick to aim and stuff or something like that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, or quick draw.
Quick draw, yeah, that works too.
Oh, I like quick draw
Could
the most.
be about how you like intimidated all those people from
very far away.
Intergalactic distances.
How about it actually shoots?
That honestly is my favorite thing that happened that episode.
Yeah.
More than once even. Yes, I like that too.
Yeah.
Captain Jack has quick draw. He's pulled his gun on so many people so quickly that now he has quick draw.
Yeah, he got that last
He's
episode.
practiced on
there you
camera
go.
so many
He's really
times.
good at it now.
Yeah.
He's in the bathroom just in front of the mirror.
Yeah, he's watched the video recordings of the times he pulled the gun, right? And improved his technique, and now he has quick draw.
Perfect.
That one was really fast. Did you see that? That was a good one.
Good one.
He times himself. He stopwatches this one.
Yeah, I think Rockbot would just sit there with a timer, trying to pump him up every time.
He is a timer.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so the next thing I have to do is provide a session title, but first I want to see if anyone has any suggestions. Otherwise, I'll provide one. I have one ready, but if you guys want to suggest one, I could do that. And it's ideal if it somehow connects to what's going to happen in the episode. Now, that's tricky if we're creating it as we go, right? It's weird to make the title before you have the episode, but that's what the game says to do.
I think you got to do it.
I think it's kind of a fun challenge to try to work our way towards it. Although we didn't really do that last time.
I didn't do that last time at all.
Yeah.
You didn't need to, because I had already come up with the bounty and what they were stealing and all that kind of stuff, right? And that's why the title was Baby Blues.
Because we be babies.
It made sense. But this time, I have a different title. I have an idea for a bounty. I've reread this section of the rules, and I don't exactly understand if I'm supposed to come up with everything for the bounty or if you're supposed to contribute. I'm not real clear on that. But I've gone ahead and made the bounty.
Okay.
And the title I've come up with is Classic Robbery.
Classic robbery.
I have a suggestion.
Okay.
Since it's a rock one, what about Rock Bottom?
Oh,
okay.
That is pretty good.
You want to do that?
Or rock slide.
I was going to, suggest something with a rock in it, like just let's rock. But yeah.
I don't think we aren't rock bottom.
Well, rock bottom is it's like a pun because it's got rock bot in it.
Oh, rock
words,
bot.
I guess.
I see.
Maybe we save
That's
that one.
What we're doing.
Maybe we save that one for an episode that is about rock bottom.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. All right,
Because
that's fair.
you can have personal episodes that
Right.
are sort of about a particular character.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So maybe we save it for that.
Write that down.
Yeah, so maybe, Schubert, write that down.
Okay. What was your suggestion, Christina?
Rock slide.
Rock slide. That is also pretty good.
That's very open. We can not mess that up.
Well, I mean, you use like a slide guitar in rock, so you got
That's
another kind of double meaning there.
Not a double entendre, I don't think, but maybe.
We'll make it a double entendre somehow.
Perfect. I can't wait.
I mean, there are lots we could do for rock. Rock in a hard place, rock the Casbah.
What
else
is a
could we do?
Casbah, though, actually?
We'll have to find that
I
out.
know what it is, like the song.
We'll have to go to a bar called the Casbah
Oh.
Oh.
and rock it.
Okay, let's do that one. I like that. That's a good starting point.
It is kind of a fun idea. It gives you an idea of what's to come.
Yeah, it is a place in the Middle East, the Casbah, but
Oh, okay. This is new Casbah.
All right. You want to call this Rock the Casbah?
I learned something today.
And it's a jazz club, but we have to turn it into like a rock lounge. That's what we have to do in the episode. I have no idea.
That's a crazy bounty. I don't know who decided to
If
do
you
that.
leave it all up to me, I'm going to make it about making a band every episode.
Every episode, you're going to try to make it from going from jazz to rock. I understand.
Yes.
Okay. So we start the episode back on the Dancing Queen, and we're here in Act 1, and I guess it's worth pointing out that in Act 1, if you look the rules, you're not really supposed to get right into the bounty yet. You're supposed to be sort of goofing off or interacting on the ship. You're not necessarily into the story, the meat of the story, just yet. The investigation actually starts in Act 2. Right now, you're gearing up, acting out any rivalries between PCs, that sort of thing. All right, so here we are in Act 1. What is everyone doing on the ship? Right now, you are orbiting Earth.
Rockbot is making waffles for the crew members.
Okay.
I love that you feed Bond just like a human. I mean to say Bond loves that.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, the waffles are made out of dog treats.
Oh, even better. All the protein someone could need.
Yeah, because most of the stores in the ship are dog food right now.
Right.
I forgot I need to set a clock for this act, for tab 1. I'm going to set this clock to be the objective clock to be a tango clock, and I'm only going to put 2 ticks in it in the interest of time, because I think 4, 6, and 8 is just too many.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to do 2, 4, and 6.
Yeah, good idea.
And the difficulty, I'm going to go ahead and spend some of that risk that I've got, and I'm going to increase that difficulty by 3 to 8.
Gosh
boy.
darn it.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to spend a bunch of that
I'm
risk.
gonna burn these waffles.
It's not fair that you can't let me cuss when you do stuff like that.
You can. I have to replace it with a dog barking, remember?
That's true. Yeah.
So go ahead.
I mean, I just think Bond is actually probably doing the thing, which is fixing up the spacesuit. It's just in the mode of that.
Okay.
Because I think that just makes sense that I'll be in the garage tinkering away as a dog does.
So you've got a soldering iron in your mouth and
in my cybernetic legs.
Oh, okay. You're soldering some armor onto your spacesuit, or somehow applying armor onto your spacesuit.
Exactly.
You can grab things with your cybernetic legs?
I can now.
Oh, wow.
I just made that canon.
Are they like monkey hands on the end of them?
No,
does
they
that
look
work?
like paws, but I think maybe they could like extend
somehow.
out like this.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
All right.
creepy.
For listeners, it's like I'm a fist is the paw shape, and then the fingers curl out.
I'm sure it doesn't look at all disturbing.
I think
No.
it looks very disturbing.
Okay.
but other than that, you're an adorable little
Yeah,
pity.
when you see my regular metal paws, I'm so cute.
Yeah.
And what is Captain Jack doing?
Cactus Jack is doing the finishing touches on the water cooling system. He's smoking a cigarette. He's got a bottle of whiskey there with the shot glass. And he's sort of staring at the open container. He doesn't have enough water to fill it, and so he just kind of pours the rest of the whiskey bottle into the water. And like, hey, I'm almost done with this rock bot.
Nice and cooling.
He's smoking right by the food that's being prepared. You're all keeping busy. What kind of challenges do you think you face here? What kind of tests do you think you face at this in this first tab, this first act?
I think Rockbot, the test that he faces is not burning the food, probably.
Well, he's being worked on particularly.
Do you think that's a dance or a jazz or something else?
Let's see. What is tango kind of all about again?
It's more like a charm.
Yeah, that's persuasion, deception,
Okay.
personality
I
stuff.
would say blues is like an insight, so maybe that.
It's more of like an empathy thing, right? Like,
Yeah, or knowledge is jazz, like jazz, so then you just know how to cook food, right?
Right. Okay. yeah, maybe it's a jazz thing. I do have perfect rhythm as a jazz trait, and maybe that helps me timing the food, not messing anything up.
Ooh, yeah.
Flipping everything on time.
Okay, so you're using your perfect rhythm trait, and it is a jazz test. Now, this clock is a tango clock, but you can roll 2d6, and the difficulty is currently 8.
All right. It would be pretty difficult to make dog food into good waffles, and that's what Rockbot is trying to do here. So let's see how this roll goes. I rolled 2 4s, exactly an 8.
Wow. Okay, so 1 hit and no ones. So I take 1 shock, which I'm going to bank as risk for the moment.
It's going to be nasty.
And you get a tick on the objective clock. So Rockbot pulls it off. He follows the recipe. He's keeping time. What kind of music is he playing as he's keeping time?
He's playing some pretty kind of steady rock and, instrumental rock and roll to just kind of keep him pumped up. Nothing too crazy because, it's early in the morning still. So.
Okay.
And, he celebrates his victory of waffles.
Well, the waffles are ready. Bond can maybe smell them down in the garage.
I've done it. Collect your waffles.
I use my radar ears to hear him say that the food is ready. He doesn't even need to ring a bell.
All right, so I guess Bond comes up to the kitchen, to the dining hall, right? This is a cruise ship. It's got a... Do you think it has multiple restaurants?
Probably,
oh,
yeah.
Man. That is so
all
exciting.
abandoned, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rockbot has been, trying to refurbish this, brunch place, and it looks terrible. Everything is just in shambles. There's pieces of debris still everywhere. But you guys kind of uncomfortably sit in a booth, and Rockbot serves you.
I'm
some
very
waffles.
comfortable. I sit on my hind legs and have my front paws up on the table.
Up on the table.
Like a good dog.
Would you like some coffee with that?
I growl, so that's, yeah. Mm-mm. Coffee's not good for dogs, right?
No.
Probably
No,
not.
it's
I don't know.
I assume in real life that's not.
Probably not good for people either. Or is it? I don't know.
It's barely good for human beings.
Cactus Jack, how would you like your coffee?
Oh, nothing in it. Just black for me. Thanks.
Coming right up.
Are these waffles going to be good? Or are they going to be bad?
I rolled just well enough, I think, for them to be edible. So...
Okay.
They're good to Bond.
Over the last while, we don't have many resources. I accidentally bought a bunch of dog food, so maybe you've gotten used to it. This is maybe some of the better dog food that you've had.
He's trying.
So you sit down to eat, and it's tolerable. What other test do you think you have to face here as you're just floating around the Earth? What else do you think comes up?
If it's just tolerable, I feel like Cactus Jack should have to roll some sort of indigestion.
Yeah, I was thinking
It's not
something
that
like,
bad.
he's got to compliment this, maybe. It's not great, but he knows Rockbot's trying so hard.
Okay.
But this is a tango clock.
Yeah.
The only thing Cactus Jack has for his tango clock is the revolver.
Shoot the waffles.
So while Rockbot's turned the other way, Cactus Jack takes a bullet out real quick and pours the gunpowder all over one of them and sets it on fire so that it disappears. I don't know. I'm trying to think of anything I can do. I'm trying to artificially use my tango trait here.
I mean, in this case, you could just try to sneakily give it to Bon or something like that, because the dog will eat it.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be that dramatic. So he takes out the revolver, and it's got a long barrel on it. He just kind of flips the pancakes or the waffles over onto Bond's plate using the gun.
Does that really require a check?
Yes, it does.
to flip pancakes?
Maybe to do it without Rockbot noticing.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought you were going to roll for fixing my water cooling.
Well, you get that trait. We don't want to have him roll for that because
Right.
you get that trait regardless of his roll, right?
It's true, but it could be slightly broken, I guess, if he rolled badly.
Right, or
something.
maybe it doesn't look good, or...
Yeah.
has some other consequence. That's true.
I rolled well for the waffles, okay, guys? Just eat them.
Hey, man, I love them.
Okay, all right, I gotcha. Maybe you're heating up. Maybe you're hot working in the kitchen, and I gotta make sure that thing's on right.
Okay. You could make a jazz robot whisperer check if you wanted.
But we wouldn't finish the clock because that's a jazz.
Oh, that's
one,
true.
right?
It needs to be a tango check. That's true,
that's
to
the
finish the
pain
clock.
part.
It needs to be a tango
need
check.
to be, but it should be.
No, it does. To close the clock, it has to be the same
Oh,
approach as the clock.
Right, but I'm saying
okay.
it doesn't have to actually close the clock.
That's true. You don't have to close the clock.
Right,
It just is good if we did.
We gotta close the clock.
We got to.
right. So you're looking to do a tango type of action, is what you're doing.
Yeah, it'd have to be something involving your gun then. Unless you have an ability that lets you use...
You have to be very creative with your gun.
Maybe he just hits the water cooler thing with the butt of his gun. Because it's not glugging right. You know, the water's supposed to glug down. It's not glugging. Rockbot, come here. It ain't glugging. You're gonna heat up. Do I roll 2d6? What do I do?
Yeah, 2d6. One for you just get one die to start with, and one because it is... Oh, actually, and one because you're using a trait.
I think this makes perfect sense.
I got a 6 total, so I think Cactus Jack kind of starts tapping the side of it, and maybe he cracks it, or maybe his gun. Oh, I can break my gun but succeed, right? Can we do that?
Let's see here. How does that work when you wound a trait? Hold on.
Yeah, wounding.
Damage your gun to fix
You
me?
can also just succeed on it.
Rockbot, you moved.
There's a shock that's generated, right? And now you can remove this shock by wounding a trait, or you could let me have it, and I'm going to use it to advance the threat clock. Or you could remove a shock by marking a bullet on your character sheet.
Okay, but I can't automatically succeed. So
No.
on this one, I just fail. Okay.
I mean, can't you with the rhythm?
You could use rhythm to do a riff if you wanted.
So then you could do something cool with your gun.
Yeah, so here in Act 1, the riffs available are... it's just show off. That's the only one that's available. And that involves spending a rhythm to get a hit.
Show off.
Oh yeah, I'm just having trouble thinking of what I'm going to do, but
So when you compliment him, you could do some cool thing.
Well, you've got your gun that you're so good with. What else? Of course, what would you do to show off? You would spin your gun around and do some tricks.
Yeah. Do 23 different flips, and then bang me with the butt of your gun, fixing me perfectly.
all right, I'm fine with that. I think there's something that he also has a hard time reaching because Rockbot is so awkwardly shaped, and so he shoots a bullet that it ricochets perfectly off and lodges itself inside of you to fix that last little thing, and then he's like, I can't believe that worked.
I've been shot.
That was really dumb.
I don't know that shooting the gun off inside the ship is maybe the best thing to do. Can I make a suggestion?
Did you do this on purpose?
No, Dancing Queen's so big. It's no. There's no bullet that can penetrate the Dancing Queen's hide.
I was going to suggest that maybe you're flipping the gun all over the place and distracting Rockbot, and in the meantime, with your other hand, you move the waffles over onto Bond's plate.
Well, that's smart.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
So that Rockbot doesn't even notice that you've done it.
You've charmed him, yeah.
Then you fix Rockbot.
That makes a lot more sense, but
Follow his
I will be
hand.
shooting this gun inside of spaceships. That's no one
Oh,
can
yeah,
stop
yeah,
me.
yeah.
At some
In the
point.
future.
I assume that's gonna happen for sure.
Just, we got to accept it.
All right, I burned one rhythm.
Okay. Well, that adds another tick to that clock, which means we finish up this act. And that means that your success here on this clock is that you hear when the television in the atrium nearby starts blaring the theme song for Big Shot. So I guess you want to run over and watch that, maybe?
Oh, heck yeah. We will.
All right, so Big Shot comes on and Punch and Judy appear. Howdy, amigos. How are y'all bounty hunters doing?
And now it's time for Big Shot, the show that brings you the latest fugitives.
This time it's something darn peculiar. You're going after Orpheus Melody, a former composer from Mars.
I guess Melody's last few symphonies didn't go over well because he's turned to a life of crime. He stole an experimental device from Valles Marineris University. Am I saying that right?
Don't strain your pretty little head thinking about it, sugar. Shucks, howdy, folks. Watch out for this thing. It's called a sonic harmonizer, and it can stun anyone within a stone's throw of it.
Don't patronize me, Punch. There's a 3 million Wulong reward if you can stop him from robbing another bank and recover the sonic harmonizer, but only 1 million Wulong without the device.
Ooh-wee, that thing is valuable. Oh, one more thing. Y'all remember those human traffickers that escaped Callisto last week? They ain't been caught yet, but the ISSP has asked us to tell y'all to look out for a dog that got loose when the traffickers made a run for it. They say they're real worried about their dog. If you see him...
I turned it off.
Bond turns it off.
Yeah. Bond is like, okay, that's all we need to know.
Just for the briefest moment, you thought you saw a picture of a dog flash up on the screen.
Just before that happened, that's when I...
Yeah, but you weren't able to get a good look at it because Bond turns it off.
Bad dog.
Oh, huh. I wonder what the reward for that dog was going to be.
So...
What was the guy's name again? I got everything else except for his name. Or their name.
Orpheus Melody.
Ooh, that's a name for you.
Are we having a separate sheet to look at all this stuff? I forgot to even mention that before at the beginning.
Separate sheet to look at all this stuff.
Yeah, because
what do you
didn't
mean?
we talk about last time? Like maybe having, if not Miro, like I think you said you were using...
Oh, I'm using Excel.
Yeah,
I've got an Excel
right.
spreadsheet. I could share... Oh, you're right. I didn't even think... You're right. I should have thought about that.
I forgot till just now, too, so don't feel bad.
Dang it.
And it was my suggestion.
I mean, I can share my screen with you. Which information did you want to be able to see most clearly? The clock information?
The clocks, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Let me zoom in on that. All right, so can you guys see that at all?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we just finished the first tab, the Tango clock. That means we're done with Act 1. Commercial break here. We're not doing commercials, sadly. Act 2. This is the act in which you begin your investigation and start trying to figure out the bounty's secret. And I'm going to spend, let's say, 2 risk here. So I'm going to take myself down from 4 risk down to 2 risk, and I'm going to increase the difficulty for this tab from 10 to 12.
Oh my god.
Now, do you have the secret in mind already, or are we helping
I have
to
a
come up
secret
with
in
it?
mind.
Okay.
Of course, if you, in the course of your investigation, come up with something that you think is a cooler secret, then we'll just go with that. I have something in mind, and so as you're doing your investigation, if you say something that suggests you figured out the secret, I'll reveal some information, right? Or you can make up something if you prefer. How do you want to start your investigation? Right now, you're in orbit around Earth. What do you want to do?
Go on the net to look for this guy's last known location, probably.
Okay, yeah, see what kind of information you can find out about him on the outer net. So who wants to do a check?
On Gaggle.
On Gaggle, yes.
What kind of clock are we working with?
We have a jazz clock.
Jazz, okay.
So yeah, knowledge is a good one for that.
Exactly. It's an investigation, right? You're going to apply your expertise.
Yeah. Who's good with computers?
I'm not technically. Maybe if we had something like... I don't know if this is something that would even exist in Cowboy Bebop, but like, you know how truckers have like I was going to say CB radios?
Yeah,
right?
CB radios, yeah.
Something like that, because then I can actually do something which I have radar ears. Maybe I'm just listening to hear any sort of like information that sounds like it might be this guy.
Yeah, you're listening to traffic, to radio traffic.
Right.
Mm-hmm. A space B radio.
Right.
Yeah, I like the idea of Bond just sitting in the middle of the room and suddenly his ears like perk up and just start like shifting in different directions, which is pretty normal if you have a dog.
Exactly. I have the CB radio on. He looks like he's asleep, actually.
Maybe you have a bunch of radios on, right?
Right.
And you're listening to all of them and your ears are twitching back and forth as you listen to them.
Ooh, that's cool.
But my eyes are closed. Like, you would think I was asleep for any other reason except for my ears are going crazy.
That's cool. Yeah, I love that. Now you get 2 dice.
Yes.
And Now, this doesn't have to be a jazz check. You only need a jazz check to fill the clock.
Yeah, but my radar
Right?
ears are in jazz.
They are in jazz.
That's why I was like, that could work better than me saying I'm going on the internet.
Now, if you wanted to, you could save that to fill the clock. And let someone else do something if you want. They don't have to do a jazz check here. That jazz check is only needed to fill the clock.
Right. But in this case, filling the clock would be finding the secret. And
That's right.
And I do want to find out where this guy is. So it seems like that makes sense to kind of...
But you won't be able to get 4 ticks. It's unlikely you're going to get 4 ticks with this roll.
Mm-hmm. Cactus Jack also has a jazz trait.
So you might want to do something else first. You can do what you want. I'm just saying...
Right. That's fine. I'm just putting more marks in there, so that's good.
That's It's always a good idea to add some marks.
Yeah. So I'll do it that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's not confuse it too much.
Sure. Just want you to be strategic.
Yes.
I think if you have an idea, just go for it, because otherwise it just takes too much time trying to figure things out.
I got 2 and a 3, so a 5.
Oh dear. Okay. Well, no additional shocks, just the standard one that I get.
Ouch.
Let's see. We're going to advance the threat clock by 1.
Oh, no.
We're going to apply that shock to advance the threat clock by 1. Now, unless you want to use a riff of some kind.
It might be a good idea.
You could absorb that shock if you want to. You could wound your ears if you want.
Yeah, I think that makes the most sense. I hear something, but it's really high pitched. You guys can't hear it.
Oh,
gosh,
good idea.
It hurts your ears.
Yeah, great idea.
That's cool.
And because this guy's like music based, I think it's probably him on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
Oh,
and
that's cool.
Do you want to use any riffs to try to get any hits?
Yeah.
Your available riffs now are show off, assist, and improvise. Assist doesn't really apply unless someone else wants to help you.
Yeah, it's probably be more...
You could improvise, which means you spend 1 rhythm to use traits from a second approach, if you wanted. You could add another die from a second approach.
I don't really have anything that would make sense from another approach angle, though.
So we could just leave it at that, then.
Yeah.
All right. Does anybody else want to do any kind of investigation? No? Okay, we'll just call it quits there, then.
They're thinking.
I was waiting for Rockbot to do it, but I've got an idea if Rockbot's not ready to go.
Yeah, go ahead.
Cactus Jack's not great at computers. He's more like mechanically inclined.
Right.
So he's sitting in front of the computer. He's like, this thing's so slow. I mean, I'm using Netscape. That's the right browser, ain't it, Rockbot?
I believe so.
But this is really more about his blues trait, which is the cigarette, which is what we focus on, as he's like, got it between his fingers and he's smoking it while he's sitting there at this computer with his hat off next to it. He's like researching the guy, looking at his CV. He's really digging down deep. Where this guy go to? Where'd he get his undergrad? All that stuff. So
Okay.
I'll roll 2d6.
2d6 and another d6 for using your cigarette.
Oh, yeah. Roll them dice. Oh, boy. We got a 1, 1, and a 4.
Oof, we're not doing well.
So I would like to use my out of the box. So I add a shock to... Hold on, let me read this. Immediately after rolling the dice for a test...
This is why you don't smoke, kids.
You can add a shock to turn a die with a result of, oh no, I can't even turn a 1. I can only turn 2, 3, 4, or 5 into a 6. Wow, curses.
Didn't you get it too, I thought?
No, I got a 1, 1, and a 4.
Well, you could turn that
That's
4
pretty
into a
rough.
6.
That's true.
But I still wouldn't get to a 10.
Well, that's okay. You get 1 hit.
Oh, okay.
Well, a 6 is worth a hit.
Success
Right.
is
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
A 6 by itself is good. Okay.
That's right.
Let's give Mike more shocks. Why not?
Yeah.
You
So-
could wound that trait.
Oh, I could wound my cigarettes?
It's your last cigarette.
Yeah, you could wound your cigarettes. You could say that you're out of cigarettes.
Oh, let's do that. He's doing it so long. Because Netscape is so slow. Please use a different browser. Yeah, he gets all the way down to the last second. He's like, oh no.
There's just an ashtray full of butts in there.
You generated a shock in order to get a hit, and you already had 2 shocks, right? So you got rid of 1 shock by wounding that trait, but there are 2 more shocks. Do you want to? Is there anything else you want to do with them? I don't think there's anything you can do with them aside from wound a trait and give them to me.
Oh,
You could do the...
I'm taking a wound, yeah.
Or take a bullet.
Yeah, take a bullet.
You could mark a bullet as well.
Okay, I don't remember what marking the bullets do, but I'll do that.
So you don't lose those until we do like a character one for you.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And if you accumulate 6 bullets, then, yeah, we have to do a character session for you.
Yeah, we have to because you're otherwise full of bullets.
Oh, that would be awfully selfish of me. Okay, I'll take 1 bullet. That's fine. 1 bullet's not so bad.
All right, so you take 1 bullet, you wound 1 trait. I've got 1 shock left. I'm going to advance the threat clock by 1. But you advanced the objective clock by 1 as well.
So did we hear where he was from on the radio? Or where he was?
So I haven't given you that information yet because you haven't succeeded
at enough stuff
in your checks yet, right? You haven't succeeded in this tab. Once you do, I can give you more information.
Right.
The only things you got from Big Shot were that he was a composer who stole an experimental device from Valles Marineris University on Mars. And he was robbing banks using this device called a sonic harmonizer.
All right.
Okay, got it. Maybe through the investigation, there's somebody he's always co-publishing with. It's just constant. And so then he's like, that must be a connection right there.
This is when you can tell that you guys are like university dudes.
I'm not anymore. I quit. I could have left that life a long time ago.
But you still know.
So that's what before the et al. Is always this other name, which I am going to make up now. I'm actually asking a robot to do it for me, because I'm a robot whisperer. Make it punny.
Oh, I forgot something.
Oh no.
You succeeded in the first act.
Yeah.
That means you get a session trait.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
What is that?
A session trait is a trait that only is good for this session, and it can be used for any test by any bounty hunter.
Oh, cool.
Wow. I didn't remember that
Do
rule.
we get to make it up, or
You get to make it up.
Oh.
You could say it's a waffle, a burnt waffle, or you could say
they were
it's
burnt. They were
well, maybe there was one. Maybe there was one that was burnt, and it's the session trait that you get to keep to use or something.
It's pretty funny.
This is the hill that Schubert's gonna die on.
Yeah. Maybe there's one perfect waffle that you've preserved.
You wouldn't let us eat it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you want to make it a waffle,
I don't. It doesn't have to be a waffle. I'm just saying there's something from the first tab, the first act, that
makes sense.
that is a session trait.
Right.
We're surprisingly sated. We're satisfied.
Okay.
So Cactus Jack finds that he's published many works with Professor Theodora Allegro from, I don't know, somewhere. Where's a place?
Well, weren't they from a Marinara University or whatever?
Yeah, they could be from the same university. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping it would be from somewhere else, so we might have a clue where he was going.
Okay.
Or something like that.
Sure. Maybe there's another university on Europa or something.
Oh yeah, we're going to Europa. All right, yeah. Cactus Jack is like, yeah. Theodora, she works over on Europa. I bet that's a connection. I bet if he's in trouble, he's gonna want to go to his closest friend. What do you think, Rockbot?
I think you might be onto something. If I know anything about musicians, they can't stop playing music. So we should look for shows in the area, local shows. Maybe they are using a pseudonym, a nom de plume. Do you know what I mean? Nobody else is talking. What's happening?
No, that makes sense.
Oh, my name's Cactus Jack. I wouldn't know nothing about using a fake name.
Me neither.
You could try to do some research on this Theodore Allegro. You could try to do research on the bounty's most recent robberies, look for patterns, look into his past. You could try to find a witness. You could look up or go talk to someone at the university. You could talk to a scientist about the sonic harmonizer. These are all things you could try to do.
I'm trying to figure out a way to work this into the Casbah. So that's why I thought if we found this guy like playing some local shows around
this
place, that might work.
Maybe the Casbah is on Europa.
Yeah, maybe there's a famous club or a famous concert venue called the Casbah on Europa, where this Theodore Allegro guy performs.
Let's just go there so that we're there because we did it narratively.
Okay.
Boom. And
Somebody
then
make a check for something then.
Yeah, and somebody do a check for something when we're there to do like find the next piece or something.
Maybe I'm familiar with the Casbah because it is a jazz bar. I mean, Casbah, jazz bar.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
yeah, Casbah, jazz bar.
Totally.
I love it. I love that. That's perfect. Why don't you make some kind of check to recognize the importance of this place or something, right?
This could even be where Rockbot is from or something.
Oh, yeah.
They better have Boston accents in here. We go to the jazz bar.
Maybe I could use my crossed wires to remember the Casbah.
I love it.
It's something I've tried to forget, but
It's 3 dice.
when I hear about Europa, I'm like, Europa?
Yeah, that's blues, you said, right? Yeah, it's blues.
Yes.
Crossed wires is blues.
Does that work?
Yeah, it works. We're not finishing the clock.
So roll 3 dice.
All right. Rolling 3 dice. I got a 4, a 5, and a 2 for a total of 11.
Yeah. Oh.
All right. That's
good.
That is good, but the difficulty is 12.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
I thought I rolled so well.
You did,
Can I assist?
and you didn't get any 6s.
Can I do the thing that changes my 2 to a 6 or something? Is that a
No,
thing?
that's my groove. My Cactus
Oh,
Jack's
that's
out of the
your
box. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You could use a wounded trait to add dice to the pool. Do you have a wounded trait?
Oh, I don't have a wounded trait for this session.
No.
Yeah.
I just got one.
Yeah. So does Cactus Jack. You could
Right.
improvise.
Yeah. I got lots of rhythm, so
Cactus Jack can use a rhythm to assist,
Isn't
right?
there there's an assist one, right?
If someone wants to assist, they could.
Yeah, Cactus Jack will spend a rhythm to assist and use Robot Whisper.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that means that you get advantage on that roll if you're using Robot Whisper to help him. I don't think you even have to use a trait for that, do you?
I don't think so, but
No. So you're using assist, and advantage means I think you get to re-roll one of the dice if you want to, right?
add 1 extra die to the dice pool and remove the lowest die. Rolled before counting, but
Well, we'll let it go. We're figuring it out.
Yeah. We're just remembering how to play again.
Yeah. I guess add a die to the pool.
And take out that 2.
Yeah.
take out the 2 and add another die. Okay.
Yeah.
Reroll the 2.
Yeah. Basically re-roll the 2.
Yeah.
I rolled a 2.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Still have no hits unless you want to spend a rhythm
Yeah.
to improvise or show off.
I'm gonna. Sorry. Show off is just.
You get a hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, show off is you get a hit, and improvise is you can use a trait from a second approach to add a die to your pool.
Okay, I've got crossed wires.
Right?
Cactus Jack asks me, "Hey, do you know any, jazz clubs in the area?" And immediately I'm just like, "No, of course not." And and you're just like, "Come on, think about it." And I'm just like, you can see the water just starting to heat up.
Boil.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Maybe I'll pull in the other trait from the water cooling, and that that kicks in and cools me down just in time for me to remember something.
Okay.
Hopefully I don't just roll another 2 after all this. So is that just add 1 more die?
Yep, that's right. Add another die.
This doesn't work, you guys. Okay, I rolled a 4.
Okay.
So it's a 4.
But it's all together, so you needed to get over 12, right?
Yeah, so it's a 4, a 5, and a 4. So 13 total.
You did it.
Yeah.
All right, so that's 1 hit.
We finally did it.
Now, you're supposed to announce this stuff in advance.
Right.
So we're being a little bit loose here because we don't know this game. But you're supposed to announce this stuff in advance.
Yeah.
But you've got 2 ticks on the clock now. You still generate 1 shock. Do you want to wound a trait?
I think I'll...
Or do you want me to take that shock?
I think maybe I'll wound my water cooling system.
It was too much to remember this.
There was whiskey in there.
That's true.
Because it doesn't mean it's broken forever, right? It just means that it's like wounded for now. Okay.
For this session, that's right. And you have that groove that would let you actually take advantage of that wounded trait.
Right.
So that's 2 ticks on the objective clock and only 1 tick on the threat clock. What else do you want to do to try to fill this clock?
Well, we know about this place, and maybe we're suspicious that he's meeting his Professor Theodora there. So we go there, not in it yet, but maybe we are asking around, like people on Europa. We show pictures of both of them. Have you seen this guy around?
Right.
Maybe he's wearing a fake mustache. And Cactus Jack can roll something. Oh, but Bond hasn't rolled something in a while, so.
I think I could be better assisting this because it's not like I can ask people things.
Well, I mean,
Oh, yeah. Can we both assist?
I think so. Yeah, I think you can both assist.
I'm going to use my blues insight, my soul searching eyes, sorry, not insight, but I check to see if people are lying to us.
Okay, cool. All right, so that adds a die if you're assisting. You spend a rhythm to do that.
Yes, I do.
Rockbot is going to play some awesome rock music that's going to draw in a crowd using his Master of Ceremonies trait.
Excellent. All right, so that adds a die. Now, are you trying to fill this clock? If so, you need to use the jazz approach here, Cactus Jack.
What trait is the session trait?
The session trait is rock.
Oh, okay.
Well, we're 2 away. I don't think I'm going to get 2 ticks in one roll, right? Probably not.
If you've got all this help, you might roll a 6 on one of them, and
That's
you
true.
might exceed the number.
Ooh. So my jazz is the robot whisperer, so maybe we're talking to a lot of people, and then finally we just talk to a robot, and it's maybe a robot bartender in another bar.
Oh, yeah. That's cool.
And he's like, oh, well, let me roll it first. So we're talking
let's
to a
roll and
robot in another bar. And so how many dice do I get? So I've got using the right trait.
You're using 2 traits.
5?
I'm sorry, you're using 1 trait, you've got 2 assists, and you get 2 from the tab or the act that we're in. That's 5.
Wow.
Oh, heck yeah. This robot's going to spill the beans. Oh, boy. So I got a 12, exactly, but no 6s.
No 6s.
Oh, no.
All right.
I could add a shock to turn 1 into a 6, and then we'll complete this clock.
You could do that.
Oh, do it.
Do it.
Do it, do it.
Do it.
We already got so many shocks, like,
Yeah, right?
there's a certain point he can't do anything about it.
So you're giving me a shock?
That's what we're talking about. I think we
Yep.
are, just to
Yeah,
finish
so
off
I'm not
this.
going to bother to advance the threat clock because I can't fill it. Instead, I'm going to bank that shock for later.
Yeah.
Oh boy, we're
It's gonna be
definitely
so
not
bad
gonna.
next
We're not
session.
gonna make tab 3. Yeah, tab 3 is not gonna be good.
I know.
You succeed. Go ahead and tell me what happens with the robot, and I'll give you a bunch of other information.
We're talking to the robot, and he's not spilling the beans, but we can tell he's lying because Bond's got the lie detector ears up.
Eyes
Bond's
in this
growling.
case.
Yeah. And so then
Got my
Cactus-
soul-searching eyes. I'm looking at him, and I can see he has this switch on that says he's lying.
That robot's in lying mode.
liar.
Yeah.
Hit the liar button.
Well, there's your problem.
So we switch it back off. Now he
Truth
can't lie to
mode.
us.
There you go. Wow, that was easy.
Not every robot has that, just this guy.
We put him to like Disney mode, so he's like, now he's a PG robot, nice guy, yeah. All right, now you're gonna tell us what we want to know.
So you get some information from this robot, and the robot points you to someone who is familiar with this Theodora Allegro. Is that who you said?
Yeah.
Here's what you learn. You learn that Theodora Allegro, yes, plays here regularly and plays compositions by this Orpheus Melody person who was a music professor at the university on Mars. And you hear that the scuttlebutt, the rumor is that this Orpheus Melody guy was a professor, but his funding was cut. And funding was cut for the music program. And that funding was moved over to a sort of a co-developed program with the military and the university on weapons research. And when he was
That's always what it is.
and when he protested, he was falsely accused of plagiarizing his compositions and fired. And he stole this weird sonic harmonizer thing for revenge, and now he steals money that he plans to use to expose the corruption of the university and its administrators.
So, I guess a quick question. Did he make that machine?
No, he stole it from this weapons program.
Oh, okay. It just happens to also have like a musical ability. Okay.
Well, he's angry because they took his funding.
Yeah.
That's a doggone shit. You sure knew a lot about this random robot bartender thing.
Oh, no, the robot didn't know much. You basically forced him to tell you someone who knows Theodora Allegro.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know, who is this person who knows who the robot points you to?
Someone who would come to the bar.
I guess another composer.
Yeah, maybe there's another composer or someone who always is there at the bar listening to music or something.
Maybe, they're a big fan.
Yeah, big fan.
And
yes.
Allegro hasn't been showing up, so they want to chat.
So I guess the thing is, the next stage is, for Act 3, you've got to try to capture this bounty. Do you think maybe they told you where the next hit might take place, or maybe you figured it out? Or maybe we should make that your first challenge of Act 3, is figuring out where the next hit is going to be. Yeah. Where's the next robbery going to be?
I don't think this guy would know that offhand.
He told us about the military funding, and maybe it just so happens that the company one of the military branches is here in town. And we're like, oh yeah, one of the research centers. And we're like, yeah, that's where he's going. He's going to steal another thing from this one.
Or the military credit union is located right next to the base, and he's going to go rob the credit union.
Surely. Oh, not the credit union, not the little guy, not the little bank. I mean,
well, so far he's only robbing banks and taking money. He hasn't attacked any military facilities except he snuck in to steal the weapon.
I mean, it does kind of make sense that maybe he would be, especially now that there's a bounty on his head, he'd be escalating things.
Yeah, maybe he needs something more powerful. So does that mean then that you're going to try to protect this military base from this from your bounty?
Yeah, we're going to defend the military base.
We're going to save the military, you guys.
Real heroes.
Here's the thing. They don't know it's coming, and they don't know what the sonic harmonizer can do.
Why don't you case the joint? Why doesn't somebody try to figure out what kind of approach he might make to break into this military base? Maybe you learn something about the base. Why don't we start with that?
And so this is now a rock clock we're trying to...
This is a rock clock, and you need to fill it with a rock action, and there are 6 possible ticks on this clock. The DC is now 15. I'm going to spend 1 risk to bring that up to 16. I've still got a couple risk left. Let me remember the other things that I can use risk for, because I don't remember.
You know, the only bad thing, Shiver, you picking a rock is the overall thing is that's my weakest.
In fact, let's add some information here. One of the things about Europa, reading from the book here, Europa is one of Jupiter's moons, of course, terraformed in the 21st century. It is a natural desert satellite with an arid climate, scorching air, and high temperatures. Ruins dot the landscape, and many homes and plots of land have been abandoned. And there are signs reading land for sale everywhere. And there are these walled cities that are basically built into like craters. There are temperate climates that are artificially generated by the terraforming equipment. Yeah, so maybe one of these walled areas is actually a military base, and you're not sure how he's going to sneak in, so maybe that's what you're trying to figure out.
The military base is only accessible through the Casbah Jasbah.
Really?
There's a secret
entrance.
Yeah.
A secret tunnel. It's an underground base.
Entrance. Yeah, that makes sense. That maybe somebody's bootlegging.
Well, why don't you roll something to discover that?
Okay. Maybe I will.
Now, Christina, you don't have to use a rock trait. You just finish with you only need to finish with the rock trait.
Mm-hmm.
My rock trait is wounded right now.
Well, you can always use that as part of a roll.
Oh, yeah.
Because of your groove.
Oh, yeah. I keep forgetting that. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I have my groove, too. I forgot all about that.
Look at you. I got a rock trait. We're all right. We'll get there.
What rock trait do you have, Cactus Jack? What are you?
Cowboy outfit.
Oh, you haven't used your cowboy outfit this episode.
He's always wearing it, but
you haven't really used it.
Yeah, wearing it is like whatever.
Who's trying to discover this secret entrance that we are not sure is there yet?
You can use your cowboy outfit to get into the jazz bar because they'll think you're so cool.
Let me warn you here, we're in Act 3, so in addition to the base difficulty going up to 15 plus the 1 I added, you have now the option to use the jam Riff, which lets you spend a rhythm to grant advantage, and also gives groove benefits. Can you only use your groove at Act 3? I don't think that's right. And it also lets you clear a wound if you use your jam.
Oh, there you go. Nice.
I would like to do that.
Well, I think that's right. We'll look up jam in a moment. The other thing you need to know is ones rolled on tests now generate 2 shocks instead of 1.
Ooh.
I do remember that. I want to unwound my radar ears, please.
All right, well, let's look up riffs and make sure I'm understanding that correctly. Jam. Here we go. Riffs. Jam. In the third tab, named Let's Jam, a bounty hunter can upgrade their assist to a jam by donating their groove to the test of the other bounty hunter's character they're supporting, as well as granting advantage. The assisting bounty hunter heals 1 wound from their character after the test resolves. So if you want to help someone, instead of assisting, now you are doing a jam, and that means you donate your groove to their test. So whatever your groove is, you can use it on their test, and they get advantage.
Okay. And then I can use that trait, is what it's saying.
That's right.
Okay.
After that, you'll get to use that trait.
Perfect. So then that's probably how we walk into the Casbah, or the Jazzbah, sorry. We walk into the Jazzbah, and maybe we see some people who look like they're actually getting some stuff together, like supplies and whatnot, because they're going to do like a bootleg run. I'm going to use my radar ears to overhear what they're saying.
Okay.
If somebody can help me with that, because my radar ears are currently wounded.
Seems like a Cactus Jack thing to fix your ears.
Are they robot ears?
Yeah, so here's the thing. You need to use the jam action to help someone, right? In order to unwound that trait.
Right. So Cactus Jack or I need to...
You need a jam.
We need to jam in order to fix your ears.
Yes.
What's in it for us?
You can do that. Yeah, and you could help them with your ears, right? That would be fine. So why doesn't one of them see if they can fix them?
Are these robot ears?
Yeah.
I'll use a rhythm to fix your ears.
What is wrong with your ears? Why can't you
My
hear?
ears, they got, I've heard that high, like, piercing noise that you guys didn't hear, so I'm still hearing, like, I have, what is that called? Tinnitus?
Yeah, tinnitus, you have ringing in your ears, yeah. All right, so yeah, Cactus Jack could use Robot Whisper as a jazz trait, and you could use Jam using, I don't know, do you have another jazz trait? It doesn't have to be a jazz trait, but you could use any other trait you want. Try to help him.
You just have to be successful.
You just have to be successful. Yeah.
Can I roll to assist Cactus Jack on this?
You can. You could use Jam.
Oh, man. We can jam each other's jam?
Yeah.
You guys are jamming
How
out.
deep can the jam go?
Well, I start jamming
for
your
circle
jam.
going?
Yeah.
Raspberry. Lone Star.
Everything's getting sticky here.
Oh, boy. All right.
I don't know how many dice I roll with this much jam. I don't know what to do now. I think I'm rolling like 6 dice.
Yeah, I think 2 people are helping you. I don't know if double advantage is a thing.
I don't think I'm helping, right? I'm getting helped.
Oh, you're not making a roll though.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Okay, so only one person's helping you then.
Mm-hmm.
So you get 3 dice, plus you're using a trait, 4 dice, plus you have advantage because Rockbot is jamming, right?
Oh, I'm jamming so hard.
So 5.
And also you give groove benefits. So your groove, Rockbot, is Utter Determination. Use a wounded trait to add dice to the pool. So you could use your wounded trait, which is your water cooler, to add dice to the pool. So you could add another die.
Get that reverberation going.
Yeah. So that means, how many dice is that now? Is that 6
That's like
dice?
6, yeah.
6 dice. Yeah. And when you're done, you get to unwound that trait.
Nice.
And then I get to unwound my trait.
Wow.
This is a big roll, man.
And then I get to unwound, right? Are we how much jam's happening? Okay, so
You're not jamming.
Okay.
Only Schubert is jamming.
All right, gotcha. So I rolled 6
I thought we were both
dice.
jamming.
Got an 18, so we fixed these ears.
18. Wow.
Yeah.
Now, technically, I don't think you actually can do an action to remove someone else's wound.
I thought that's what the jamming was doing.
Yeah.
That's if you're jamming. If you're jamming is the upgraded assist.
So then I need to roll.
So if you are assisting...
I'm the one that needs to have the thing removed.
That's right. Are you assisting?
I guess. If that's what'll help you do it.
In order for that to happen, you need to assist, and you can unwound your trait.
Okay.
So you could actually roll another die, because Bon is also helping. So roll another one as well, Josh.
Okay, roll one more. Sorry.
That's getting crazy.
All right, roll the 5s, not a 6.
What a game.
Okay, and re-roll your lowest die, because you have advantage.
All right, look, another 5.
No 6s?
No 6s.
All right, so your total still exceeds 18. You get 1 tick on the clock. Both Bon and Rockbot get to remove a wound.
Yes.
You didn't roll any ones, so I only get the 1 shock.
I did have a 1 in there.
But you re-rolled it.
Oh, yes, I did re-roll it, yeah.
Okay, so you just get the 1 shock. Do you want to give it to me, or do you want to wound a trait?
Man, we're almost near the end. I'll wound something.
Okay.
So I'll wound my robot whisperer. So let's say like Cactus Jack's got his tools out and like is working on the ears, and just as it fixes, Bon can overhear the conversation about the secret tunnel, and Cactus Jack messes up his tools right then, and so then that's out.
You get shocked. My ears shock your hands.
So, listener, after some discussion that we have edited out, I'm going to reduce the number of ticks for this tab down to 3, because we're running short on time, and it's late, and we're just going to try to make this episode end in a reasonable amount of time. We're trying to make each session of recording 1 episode, just like 1 episode of the TV show. So we're going to cut the number of maximum ticks for this clock down to 3. So you have 1 tick on the objective clock and no ticks on the threat clock. So you fixed your dog's ears, and you have now successfully restored Rockbot's functioning cooling system. What do you want to do now? You're in pretty good shape. You know that there's a military base. You haven't yet really completed your investigation to find out how he's getting there, or maybe I don't know. Let's assume you already know. Let's assume you already know that there's some secret passage that gets.
Well, that's
this
why I was getting
base.
My ears fixed, right?
Okay,
so,
all right, great.
As soon as my ears zap Cactus Jack's hand away,
right?
It's like all of a sudden my ears pop, and I start hearing like some people in the back room whispering how they're getting stuff together.
Yeah.
Like getting some booze, getting some contraband, and they're going to go down their secret tunnel.
Okay.
Into the base.
Oh, we can take their disguises, or take their outfits.
Just to speed things along. Orpheus is already in there.
Oh, yeah. Maybe you hear that Orpheus is already in there.
Yeah. Actually, I hear that he's in one of the barrels.
Oh, yeah, they're smuggling him in. That's awesome. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Good
they're
idea.
Smuggling him in.
I hear his heartbeat, actually. I don't know that that's him specifically.
Nice.
Okay, well, let's make a check to see if you are able to connect all those dots.
Yeah. I haven't been rolling well, but yes, let's do that.
All right, so does anyone want to help?
Oh, I'm definitely going to help.
I'm going to get the two right from knowledge and radar ears.
Cactus Jack is jamming. He's assisting, and Bon can also use the turn at 2, 3, 4, or 5 into a 6 out of the boxing.
Nice.
I'm almost out of rhythm.
But it's a good time to use it.
Yeah.
Okay. So that gives me 4? Is that right?
You get 3 to start with. You've got 1 from
Cactus Jack.
Do you want to use a groove, or do you want to use one of the riffs? Show off. Can you show off more than once? Hold on.
Maybe a once a session thing.
Only once per session. Yeah. You could improvise to use traits from a second approach. So you could use a second trait.
Okay.
And Rockbot could help you too.
Can I do this then? Can I use my groove for my second trait, so that way I can use a blues thing to do a rock test, because we need to get rock, right? In the end.
That's right.
Okay, perfect.
I could use my hulking jukebox trait maybe to increase your range. I just like pick you up, and I'm just like holding you up in the air.
You pick me up, and I use my soul-searching eyes, which is my blues trait, as well. But I'm going to use that blues trait to do the rock test. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 altogether?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Oh my gosh.
You gotta beat 16.
Ooh, I got 1 6.
Oh, there's a hit.
2 6s. And then I got 25.
25. Okay. And so you got.
I rolled 2 6s, so that really helped.
Oh,
Wow.
That's 3 hits then.
Yeah.
All right, you filled the clock.
I leap from Rockbot's top of this thing, and I land right on top of the barrel that I hear the heartbeat coming from.
The barrel falls over, and this bedraggled-looking composer guy falls out of it, and he tries to use this weird gun-shaped thing, but with like a radar dish on the end. But you knock it out of his hands and pounce on him. You capture him. So it sounds like you've succeeded.
Good boy.
And I start licking his face.
And he breaks down into tears and says, "It's just not right. It's not fair.
What isn't fair?
They took my job. They took funding from the arts for this weaponry. It's just not right."
Do you play jazz music?
I don't know where this is going.
Yes.
Then they were right to ban you.
That's what I thought you were going to say, Sarah.
But jazz is the best. It's the purest expression of human feelings. Don't you understand?
I skeedily beedly bop.
Uh-oh.
No. Error. Stop talking.
And I suppose you turn him over to the ISSP.
I do kind of feel bad for him, though.
I don't.
Are we keeping it?
No, we want the 3 million Wulong reward, of course. Not we're not going to keep.
Yeah,
We want
we
that
do
money.
want that money.
If I have to eat one more dog biscuit, I'm gonna throw up.
So you have succeeded. You've turned over a bounty, and you've earned a reward. And I think you should probably think about for next time what you would take as a trait for
Okay.
this session.
Yeah, good idea.
So with a bounty successfully captured and some Wulongs on the way, I guess there's nothing left but see you, Space Cowboy. Thanks for listening to Cowboy Bebop. You can help the podcast by giving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, by following us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at The House of Bob, or by chatting with us on Discord, and most of all, by supporting us on Patreon. That's at patreon.com/thehouseofbob. This show is possible due to all our patrons, who get one-shots, commentary, and other cool stuff. Art for this campaign is by Trevor. Audio production and music for this episode are by me, Mike. Thanks again for listening, and roll on. Oh, I have to tell you all a gross story. You ready?
Yes.
Yeah,
Right.
do it.
All right, totally irrelevant. When I was in college, I worked in the dining hall, and the dining hall was run at the time by a crew of little old ladies who had been there for decades. And the lady who ran the head of the dining hall was 80 something, I'm sure. And she would, sort of shuffle slowly around the dining hall, always with a cigarette in her hands, because it was legal to have cigarettes indoors. And she would walk over to the food that was being prepared after it came out of the steamer or the oven or whatever, with a cigarette in one hand, dangling it over the food. And with her other hand, she would dip a finger in and lick it.
Oh.
Yes, to taste it to see if it was okay. And it was so gross. But I never said anything. I'm somewhat
Nope,
ashamed.
Then you're part of the problem.
Yes, I am part of the problem. It was a scarring, horrifying experience, but I never said anything.
I mean, they
Nothing
do
you
say
said
that you
would have
should test
changed it.
the food while you're cooking it. Like, that's like a real chef thing, but like, it's still
Yeah.
nasty to think about.
Yep. I am ashamed I did nothing.
You were but a child.
Yeah.
Was this full-headed hair, Mike? Well, yeah, I
Oh,
need one more
gosh.
detail for this
I
flashback to
had
work
a
for me.
lot of hair.
Really? Was it
I
like
had
to
long?
work for
It was-
you.
I had really long hair.
I think I demand pictures
I'll see if I can dig
for,
one up.
for later.
This is really interesting. I like the way this kind of works. I think is not great about it, at least I'm not good at it yet, there's so much. It's weird. It seems like a really storytelling-based game, but I'm really having a hard time getting away from just managing the mechanics.
Yeah. There does
You know
seem
what I mean?
to be a lot of things bogging it down a little bit.
Right. You haven't really talked to any NPCs in characters. We're just constantly like, okay, can you make this work? Roll all these dice and manage these skills.
Mm-hmm.
It seems to me like the mechanics are kind of getting in the way of actually role-playing through the story. Or I agree. As the GM, I just don't know how to do it yet.
I think you're right. Like, I think it doesn't really lead to having an actual RPG session. Like, we're not role-playing that much. I don't know. I feel like that maybe that's where the Blackout, Powered by the Apocalypse ones make a little more sense, because they're way more pared down in comparison to this game, where it's just like, okay, well, I'm going to do this thing, but then you need to do this and this and this.
Yes, this is almost more like a puzzle than a role-playing game.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and I'm reading the rule book. If you read the examples of play, they play exactly like this. Like, if you read the rule book where it has examples of how people play through the game, it's entirely like third-person explanations of what people are doing. Like, okay, we're at the top of the sky. It says, like, here, so Sylvia, this session is about Spike. You can choose to set up the introduction, the conclusion, or the genre is, what do you want? And she says, okay, I'll choose this stuff. And then Mike, one of the players, says, oh, Mal shakes Carlos's hand, looking happy about the alliance. And he says, to the new alliance and perhaps even friendship. And then the other player explains something that happens in third person. Another person explains something that happens in third person. There's not like conversation.
Yeah.
It's one way of doing it. It's one way of doing it.
I don't know. Maybe we can homebrew it a little bit.
Yeah.
I think we can ease up on the rules a little bit and focus on role playing a little bit more. Like, one thing I was thinking is we're sort of like gaming the system a lot this session with like all the assists and trying to heal wounds and a lot of that.
But that's what they want you to do, though.
It is
I feel
what they want you to do. Exactly. It's how the game is set up. But I think that we can maybe like yada yada that, like just kind of skip past that and just ignore a little bit of that and focus more on the role playing. But I don't know.
The only thing I was going to say, the detrimental part of having more role playing is that usually means episodes go longer. In my experience,
is already going long. I mean, we could fix that by making the clock shorter.
Mm-hmm.
Right, I could make the first clock just a 2 clock, the second clock a 2 clock, the third clock a 3 clock or something.
Yeah, that might work.
Right. But then that also means that you would have to be way more lenient on us, because that would explode in our faces like way, way more. I know you're being lenient now, but I'm just saying, like, in the future, you could technically have used all your shocks, and like if it was a 3 o'clock thing, just like instantly kill us.
The thing about the system I'm finding is it's not intuitive at all, and that would be fine if it was like leading to really interesting role-playing experiences. But I agree with you, Mike, that it seems to be getting in the way of that a little bit. It's a great setting, and I think we made really fun characters, but I agree the rules are getting in the way a bit.
There are 2 other games, I can't remember what they're both called, but there are 2 other games that are inspired by Cowboy Bebop and try to emulate the genre in some way.
Okay. So we just have to learn a whole new rule set.
You could run it using several different rule systems, I think. Because I used to use Unisystem back in the day. That's like the all flesh must be eaten like role-playing system. But I used that to run basically a Firefly / Cowboy Bebop inspired campaign.
Cool.
But you could use like Savage Worlds or like...
Sure.
Yeah. We could also use these rules, but homebrew them a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder if it would be worth looking before our next session to see if anybody has sort of done a bit of a homebrew with these.
I haven't been able to find a lot of people talking about
It's not super popular.
Yeah.
Probably because of what we're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah. We might be the first.
Yeah. I mean, I think if we want to streamline it, what we need to do is strip down... Well, we can talk about this on Discord. We don't have to do it now. Yeah. But I think we need to strip out some of the complexity in terms of helping each other.
I agree.
And using abilities. And I mean, I like the idea of having traits and using them, but the genre restrictions make it difficult to have something available.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You're constantly trying to shoehorn in your
Right.
abilities rather than think of what would my character do.
Because you want to fill
this.
that clock.
Right.
Yeah, and normally in a role-playing game, it's the opposite.
That's the whole thing. Is like we're more worried about that than we are of the role playing.
Yeah.
I do think that maybe that's part of the problem with the tabs system too. Like, I understand they're trying to have like, specifically for beginning, middle, end, but like in role playing, it's kind of like it naturally progresses, right? Where in this case, it's just like, oh, we figured out a way to, like you say, solve the puzzle.
What if we had just one tab? What if I just said, forget the 3-act thing? Let's just make an action clock with.
Right, 3-act. That's what I was trying to think of. That's what they're trying to do.
Right.
Yeah.
But what if there's just an action clock with 8 ticks and we naturally have a 3-act structure, or we have a multi-act structure just because that's the way a story goes?
Yeah, exactly. That could work.
Or just
that would also
each of these
streamline
2 or something.
Or 2 acts, right?
I think that they're trying to make the difficulty go up so that it feels more stressful, but they're giving you more dice at the same time, so that takes away from the point of having the difficulty go up.
But the first act is kind of pointless. There's nothing really to do in it the way they've got it set up.
It's just trying to have that vibe of the show, where like the first third of the show is not just hang out.
But you can do that without rolling dice.
That's
right?
true.
Yeah, you can do that without having to fill a clock.
That's true.
Right?
is
Successfully fill a clock so you can just mosey around and amble and waste time, right? That doesn't make any sense.
We can have our character development in the beginning anyway.
Right. Yep. Scum and Villainy apparently is a game that is inspired by Cowboy Bebop.
And like, and I was going to say, and that thing about like, something from Act 1 goes directly into Act 2, and it's just like, then we had to think about what that is. Like, that's a whole nother thing. Or it was just like, we have a waffle? Okay, that never came into play.
Right.
Well, we got to remember the waffle.